is that you're tracking their locations when they don't realize that they just committed a felony on camera. And they don't realize that the reason you just got off the phone because while you were in the middle of a bathroom break, you find out your phone's ringing. So you go and answer it, right? And as you pick up that phone, you have a... Please stay on the line. Well, agent, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, fucking phone call from, well, you get it. And, well, they're basically blah, blah, blah. Are you aware that your live stream, blah, 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 cyber attack? We are in the process of blah, 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 blah. All we need is your consent, blah, blah, blah. And we can press charges and have them arrested for the felony as of... They said a lot of words. Well, my last live got interrupted because someone committed the felony of hacking, not realizing that my lives are always watched. Because, well, they think I'm a problem. Anyways, the whiny piggy pig party was like, yo, you want to press charges, blah, 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 wah, about them doing a felony of fucking with my shit. I'm like, sure, why not? Go ahead. Press that charge, man. I'm gonna go back to my game and start a new live. And now here we are with an explanation of why my live stopped after only 5 hours. Sorry about that. However, we are back at the House of Power Elders, having a great old time, not giving a fuck about shit. Hopefully the person that committed the felony has a bunch to lose, because I'm not just pressing charges, I also stated we should sue. That way, I can take everything they have. I loves money. And suing stupid people that think they can commit a felony against you and get away with it is quite fucking insane, if you ask me. All that matters is the technicality of the land you stand on. Understand? Know your laws, know your rights, know the location of where you stand, and then listen to other people that cry about someone violating their rights, and now you have the target. That's easy to bait. You know what to do, you know how to do it, now you bait them, you get them to violate your rights on camera, and you sue them. Yes, you might get a little bit injured, but that's your choice. It was your choice to get injured and violated by a cop just so you could sue them. Every action has a reaction. If they're going to abuse their authority, they should be sued. But don't just sue a cop, because fun fact, this one guy, he was smart enough to sue a cop who didn't just violate his rights, but he's been sued before for violating another citizen's right. Well, that citizen that won that lawsuit, he didn't press charges on the officer, too. So when this other dude pressed charges on the officer so he would go to prison, which he deserved, not just take the money, well, he also pressed charges on the other guy for accessory to evasion because he was never placed in prison for his crimes the first time. They just took a large sum of money and moved forward. But fun fact, if a cop cannot articulate a reasonable suspicion of a crime, then technically they cannot detain you. If they do, that's an illegal detainment. Once they illegally detain you, they are committing fraudulence, because they aren't working under the badge, but they're doing it under petty reasons, which is perjury and fraudulence. Now, that's two different charges, both of which are felonies. You can nail a cop with a few felonies just by them illegally detaining you. You can have them placed in prison for 25 to life just for being a worthless servant that didn't know their place. By the way, let's get back to that. A cop or a peace servant or a police officer, their title is a public servant. What is a servant? That's right, a paid slave. So if a cop is a paid slave of the public, that means any citizen technically owns a cop the moment they put that fucking uniform on. Facts. How does that feel? A cop is property of any person that is a member of the public. And as long as they're wearing that uniform, they're technically property. Yeah, look it up under Black Law Dictionary and you'll understand the cold-hearted truth. Most people, they walk around with ignorance thinking it's bliss, but it's a choice. It's a choice to remain stupid, which means it's not bliss. It's a choice to, well, like several judges stated in court, ignorance is not an excuse to commit a crime, especially when you could have Googled it before you did it. And if you would have just stopped and thought, instead of act, you would have known it wasn't. Everything in life is a game of choice. If you get blindsided by your emotions, well, it's your fault you got screwed over. Remember, in America, freedom of speech, as long as it's not classified as a hate crime, you could walk up to any female and call them the C word. They can't stand that word. That really bad C word. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, if you call a person that, they'll, especially a female, they'll always throw hands. Now, if she throws hands over freedom of speech, she committed assault over freedom of speech. This is not me telling you to do any of this. This is just me, and this isn't my legal advice. This is just my opinion based on what I've done and gotten away with. Imagine a 7-year-old kid calling his mama the C word at a cast iron frying pan going across his face. Don't worry, she got in trouble. A lot of trouble. Because it doesn't justify, we're still American citizens and you can press charges on your parents. And if a cop tells you you can't, the first thing out your mouth when you're giving a statement or trying to press charges, or if a cop says you can't put a restraining order on your parents, that's a lie too. If they've assaulted you over your words, they've committed assault, you committed freedom of speech. As long as it wasn't considered a hate crime. Those are technicalities. Now, if you have the video of them hitting you, and the cop doesn't arrest them for assault and technically child abuse, then technically, you can now press charges on the officer for evasion. See, anything a cop does or says can and will be held against them in a court of law. But technically, a cop can lie to you until you stated, officer, anything you say or do can and will be held against you in a court of law. You are a public servant. Do you understand protocol and procedure? Then understand, once I've stated this, if you lie about anything to do with the law, that is considered perjury. Or, and this is my favorite, fraudulence. This isn't my legal advice again, because I'm not a lawyer, which means to give legal advice and not be a lawyer would be a crime. These are my legal advice in any form, shape, or way. These are my opinions based on reading the laws and understanding loopholes. I am not a lawyer. I do not have a degree by choice. I am not a lawyer, so when I say it's my opinion and someone says, oh, you're giving legal advice without being a lawyer, I can legally advise myself. I can legally defend myself without being a lawyer in several states and countries. However, it is your choice to represent yourself. It is a choice not to trust another fellow human who is being paid to imprison you. I mean, they're not working for you. They get paid whether you win or lose. That's what a public defender does. They get paid no matter what. They don't work for you. They work for the state. And you think the state wants you to go and prove that their court system is messed up and corrupt? No. So your public defender isn't there to defend you. And this is what I've actually learned firsthand. I watched my public defender lie to me numerous times about what I could and couldn't do. So again, I'm going to state, the public defender does not care about you. They're not there to help you. They're there to get the court case over with and maybe get you a little leniency on it. I did say maybe, because it was all planned. And you were just a guinea pig in it. Defend yourself or get violated. That's how the world works. You gotta be smart, strong, and fast. No matter where you stand, no matter what ground or country you live in, there is always a way to work the system. The system itself is the bad guy when you think about it. They're not there to help you, they're there to steal from you. And if that's the case, how can you assure nobody can take by being completely dependent? Don't ever need anyone or anything. Hell, you don't even need workers in the modern day. Utilizing CRISPR and a little laboratory, you can make clones of yourself. You can make genetic modified clones. Clones of you with eel DNA to emit electricity. You could even change your own skin tone through genetic modification by understanding the DNA and RNA of the body. Just like you could turn your double helix into a hexagon helix. Instead of two sides of a helix, you create a 5 helix. Well, just too much words. People may, think you're a mad scientist trying to turn yourself into a god. Or maybe I'm just a clone and I already did that. I did say maybe, because no evidence, no case, and good try trying to prove I'm a clone. You think I didn't already plan for that? Humans are stupid. It's a choice to be stupid. Remember, if you think you thought of something that nobody else thought of, there is a good chance you aren't the first. Which means you should be planning on how they're going to defeat you while you're utilizing this. Now, you must think about every possible scenario. So you should, first, before you do anything, adapt yourself with every form of entertainment, the stupidest to the smartest. And then think, if this was in reality, how would that be plausible? Then each thought leads to a new thought, and a new thought leads to a new thought, and then eventually you constructed a way, a meditated way, to never, ever fall victim to anyone, but instead reverse their plans against them. Anytime they think there won't be a camera, you should always plan that there is going to be a camera. Always make sure that you're on camera. Now you just have to move faster than the camera can pick up. A little genetic modification, that's no problem. Now they can't prove you were ever there. Now what if they have a camera that moves so fine-tuned that not even 0.00000000, let's just put it this way, 1/100000th of a millisecond And I mean, I know for a fact there are cameras that can catch a frame in 1 trillionth of a millisecond. So I've planned for even higher than that. I've even planned for higher than a quadrillionth of a second. Or, sorry, millisecond. At the end of the day, it's a choice to be weak. It's a choice to not be ready for a purge. I mean, you have no idea who's going to try to kill you or when they're going to. Or if the whole army's going to show up or what. You never know why they're going to show up. So, I mean, you might as well just be ready for anything. Especially if you're a mad scientist like me. And I said mad because, you know, technically, the experiments I do on myself is considered mad science. Yet, I'm not angry in any form, shape, or way. I only do it because I can. I mean, think about it. Why do painters paint? Is it because they love to paint? No, they paint because they can. It don't matter the thing you're talking about. At the end of the day, they do it because they can. And if they're gonna do it because they can... Sorry, I wasn't listening. Life is too easy when you're having fun. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Death. Why do you think I'm killing you? I kill all life forms. That's what I do. Annihilate life and have a good time. You got a problem with my existence? Do you have a problem with what I enjoy? Because honestly, I don't care. America! We don't give a fuck. Sweet, you just consented to war.